banged at each other in the bathroom. And I just said to her, I said, oh, I've been seeing Nicole for a number of years, and I was like, and I will keep seeing her until she retires. Yeah. And they're like, and I think she was a bit taken, everything in my life is crooked these days, what can I say? I think she was surprised, and then I was like, that's right, I don't think everyone in therapy likes being in therapy, whereas I think everyone in the world should be in therapy, and the world would be a much better place.
She has clients that she's seen for a really long time, too.
No, it's just, like, because I was like, I'm not going to stop seeing you until you literally retire, and hopefully that's a little while away.
It feels like never.
One thing I took out of my bag was my scarf. I wish I had brought it in. I could have given it to you. You need to, like, bring blankets or something.
Actually, I just feel like sometimes I would just go and have a little nap.
Yeah.
Could you imagine?
I was going to say, you have breaks here, but I know you work so hard.
I have a break in the middle, and that's it. So I do 4 and 4. Yeah. And sometimes I don't get 4. Work? Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And next year, maybe a Tuesday. I haven't committed yet. If I'm going to do the autism assessments, I think I'm going to need to dedicate, like...
Yeah. Speaking of assessments, you know how I keep saying there's something going on that I don't understand? So we've ruled out being on the autism spectrum. Graham seems to think it's dyslexia, or however you say it, because I swear...
Dyslexia?
That's the one. I swear when I'm doing stuff, I'm putting in the words that are in completely different orders. I had to redo the entire assessment because all the data was in the wrong place, got the results back. Of course, I reacted the way you know I'm going to. So if anybody else had gotten a grade the way I did based on the, like...
Was it more than 77?
No, it was 72.
Okay, it's close.
70. If it was under 70, I would have been absolutely gutted. But I was in a mood and a half when the result came through, and I'm talking to Graham, and I couldn't find the feedback. And how do you know, like, what you fucked up on if you can't find it? So
Isn't it on the rubric thing?
Like yes, yep. But for some reason they were having IT issues. Apparently it wasn't just me. So they actually had to put a post out on there seems to be something going on. But in the moment of receipt...
That makes me very anxious because I'm doing marking now.
That's all right. I must admit, the way you've explained it to me as a, like, advisor, teacher, lecturer, whatever, it does make me feel better. It's just that, you know what I'm like, that perfectionist woman in my head doesn't think 72 is good, even though I was out of my freaking mind in pain, exhaustion, and medication. I literally finished it, like, without, like... And the only reason I got 18 out of 25, which was the grade, because in my 100 fucking different versions that I fucking wrote, because even though I really, really, really tried to do what Graham said and keep it in one document, it's like I physically don't know how. So I still ended up like 7 different versions. So when I submitted, I had accidentally removed some of the vital information. And that's where the comments were, you're missing here and here. And in the meantime, I had emailed the unit saying, oh my God, tell me where to find the feedback. I'm so unhappy with this low grade. And the unit chair comes back going, considering the stress and everything you've been under, she's like, 72 is not a low grade by any means. And I was like, yeah, okay. I think it was like the following day I was like able to flip it in my head and go, hold on a minute. How would I speak to the next person if they explained it exactly like I've had to? And I was like, I would tell them they deserve a medal because 72 is unbelievably fantastic based on the fact that I was barely coherent.
Exactly.
Maybe we need to swap seats because it's heating up real warm in here.
It's getting warmer.
Yeah.
But it's got a little ways to go. It goes that way first and then...
I was going to say, because I'm feeling it.
It'll come.
I'm feeling it.
It'll come. And then I can remove my blanket pillow.
It's very nice, though. I imagine that would be quite, like, good for...
So I can keep focused.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a sensory thing.
That's what I mean, that sensory thing. Oh, I swear I'm having one of those.
You need some sensory things. This is what will work for you, too.
Play with it. Okay. So...
You just like...
Because I wouldn't get distracted just doing this. Imagine having one of these while on acid. Well, that would be fun.
What?
It would be fun, let's face it.
What it does do, though, is it gives your brain something else to do to keep you a little bit more focused. You know, people who wiggle and people who tap and people who make noises, like me.
I do.
You get these things, and instead of not paying attention to you, I fiddle and pay attention to you.
Yeah, see, I would have put it the exact opposite. As soon as I start touching it, I'm like, oh, I wouldn't get anything done. It's just so nice.
Well, after you get, like, it's fine.
I'm not cold, though.
After you get the initial, like, so after you get past it, it's, then you just, that's what I do.
Though I would really, really like to test out my idea of buying one and then doing it on acid.
I got it locally, I'll tell you later.
Yeah, sounds good. So uni has pulled out the stops. Like, I swear there are so many supports in place that students don't know about. Even just this week alone, since speaking to you, I've had multiple different appointments with people at uni. Not only now do I have professional note takers, I have
you had them before, right?
Yeah, that's why I said not only. Sorry. So there's more.
There is.
So
wait, there's more.
And there's a bit. So I will let you know. So there's that, obviously. Now during trimester 2, let's face it, I just feel like I lived in overwhelm and bullshit since Randy died, and I still haven't had time to process that, and I'm just dealing with it the best way I can. Yeah, but anyway, so I'd had this meeting with this woman, and she'd sent me through all these like license invite thing, because they're obviously all, you can tell by opening them, they're quite expensive, whatever these apps and programs are, and then uni pays for them and then sends the student the invite to be all connected anyway. So she'd sent through the links in August to begin with. Now one of them is Grammarly, and I've just purchased for the first time ever the premium one in April, because it was on like a big discount, and it's a relatively expensive program.
Yeah.
But worth it.
What's it do?
It fixes all my fuck ups in my papers. Like, it literally reads your paper for you. I'll write it down, I'll send you to in a text message.
Sounds amazing.
It is amazing. And the free version is good, but I knew that for me to get to where I needed to be, I had to get the premium. But it's something like $190 US, right? And it was on sale, and I always the way I was like, I'm gonna buy the annual one, so at least it's done and sorted, instead of month by month. And then uni's go, here, we're gonna pay for it for you, and I'm like, wow, I don't actually need a new one until April, because I can't cancel it and get my money back, so there's no point. But they were like, make sure the subscription is cancelled, and then put a reminder in for a month before it ends, so that we can send you the new one, and then we'll pay for it moving forward. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, because like I said, I've wanted it for years, and it's like US up there. Yeah. Anyway, I went to actually put some of the stuff into play, because another one of these things is called Glen. I don't know if you've heard of it. GLEAN. It's a note-taking app service. Yeah. So it allows you to like record your seminars and classes and whatnot.
Or whatever.
I've literally no idea how to use it. I couldn't even figure out the guided tour. It was like, take the guided tour, and I clicked on it, and it was clearly, it said 1 out of 11, right? I think as in like tips. I got to like the third one and got so lost. I literally had to email you to go, so I really don't know what I'm doing. Like, can you please tell me who I can contact to get the recorded Zoom meeting? Because I don't even know what countries this stuff's set in, but the time zones are time zone numbers that I don't know what they are or what country they involve. So it's not like I'm going to try and attend one of them live. No. But there's a recorded version. Do you think I can find it? No. Anyway, but she's now sent me many, many more links, so that'll be what I do after I bought Boss, because he is mad as fuck at me. Like, I swear to God. He's way smarter than, he's like me. We're both smart. We don't act or show it. My dog the same. But yeah, I have to walk him or take him to the dog park or something, because now that everything's gone, like what happened with my neighbours, I refuse to leave my house without his collar being on, because he doesn't wear it regularly. I only put it on if we're going in the car or out for a walk.
You worried that the neighbours are going to do something to him?
It's more like the fact that the cops gave me less than 30 seconds before they said they were going to knock my fence down.
Yeah.
Now my dog door's open so he can get in and out while I'm out.
Yeah.
Imagine if something happened and I'm not home and they broke my fence down, boss would be able to get into the backyard and get out. He'd be gone without a collar.
Is he got the
Yes, I what?
microchip?
Yeah, of course he does. Like, it's not like it's the first time he's gotten out, but, like, he's put me through hell before. It's all patience and testing and blah, blah, blah. But I have faith that my dog will be with me until I need him to be with me. Though he is now getting an arthritis injections.
Always. He'll be with you always.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, look at that. You're using my belief back on me. I love it. But yeah, no, I just put the collar on it. But I've had to do it a number of times now that it's like you can see this look in his eyes, like, I know you're not taking me, and I just know he's mad. So the fact that I know this means I have to really do something about it.
Give him extra chicken nuggets.
No, because I only feed my dog meat because I don't have the energy to actually make the vegan food for him. And let's face it, I'm not even being vegan these days. I'm mostly vegan, but unfortunately ice cream has snuck up on me and my freezer is now full of it. Those like single drumstick ones, they were half price and I was doing online shopping and I've decided...
And you're like, very well, I accept. Click.
I bought like 6 packets. I had to take them out of the boxes to fit them in my freezer, yeah?
You take everything out of my boxes to fit things in my freezer.
Well, I've decided, I may or may not have told you, I don't know. The only recording I haven't watched so far is the last week's one because I wanted to speak to you first. But what am I trying to say? Did I tell you that I've decided moving forward that even though it might not sound like it, financially, healthy, whatever, all the different things, I'm actually going to get my meals sent to me weekly, pre-made. Yeah, so I've looked into
pre-made,
it.
like what? Like
like
foods or like
yeah, the one I
what?
found was My Chef. I went through and checked them all, but based on the fact that I want 5 lunches and 5 dinners minimum, so Monday to Friday is sorted.
Like all vegetarian?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly.
They
so
have enough options.
Yeah, heaps. It's awesome.
Is it done? Like microwave
already
done?
made, yeah. Oh no, it's not one of those Hello boxes that I get the ingredients and I still have to cook. I made a video last night. It went for 5 minutes. I'm trying to cook dinner and I was like, this is so boring and there's no one to talk to. So I turned my camera and I was like, hi people, I told you I'd probably do this. Andrew came this morning, thank God, brought me up, yeah. Because I have issues and I need to trim all my weed that's dry and I needed a new battery in my kitchen scales. Oh my God, they double secure, childproof, whatever.
The screw.
I could not get this battery out of the container. I talked about it on this video for so long. He arrives this morning, he's like, how'd you go with the battery? I was like, how do you think I went with the battery? It's still stuck in the fucking container. I was like, by the time I'd finished cooking, by the time I'd done everything, I was like, there was no way I was going to be able to trim weed anyway. I could barely move, yeah? But yeah, it was pretty funny. So, yeah, it's been interesting. Now, Toastmasters. I spoke to you on Monday. I told you about it.
Yeah.
So yesterday, I decided I would have told you I sat between these 2 gentlemen, right? So one of them was he was judging. He's a life coach. You know what I mean? I can tell an entire story in a few minutes, right? So I basically gave him the rundown of, look, I looked into life coaching. I really thought it was cool. I unfortunately with like bad experiences from behind, but I don't like behind the scenes, but I don't judge people. I just meet on others before them. And we exchanged details. And the other guy was a retired man who I've just found out is like mid-70s, but he's been running and creating these clubs for the last 41 years. And anyway, I messaged him yesterday and I was like, I know this is like really short notice. I was like, but is there any chance you'd be free to catch up for the a coffee this afternoon? And he did.
Being yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah. Today's Thursday, yeah? Yeah, yesterday. Because all I had on yesterday was going to the vet or something like that for boss. So just injections for arthritis.
Okay.
Keep them limber, you know.
Yeah.
But anyway, I met up with this man, and it was like, I mean, I could probably talk to almost anyone for like the entire day, but this guy I could spend a week just talking to. He is so knowledgeable, and I just have this feeling like this is where synchronicity comes in. Yeah, okay, so this particular man I saw yesterday, who we spoke for hours until literally the cafe closed around us, and then we had to leave, and then I still need to go to office works for a few things, so he came with me and we just kept talking like it was really, we got on like a house on fire. He's fully retired, and the feeling of, I was obviously meant to meet this guy. He doesn't attend the club. He's not even a member of the club that I went to, that I'm going to tonight. He just went as a guest because he used to be the president. And so he kind of goes back and forth.
Yeah.
But I think this man, I've met him like to the point where last night I wrote him something. I wrote him a message and I was like, "Hi Victor," that's the name I've given him. I believe I've met you. Well, I told him this when I met him, after he was like, I wasn't even meant to be there. I was like, I believe I would learn so much through you. I said, I've never actually done this before, so I don't know much about it. I was like, but I would love for you to consider being a mentor to me.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, you know, this whole putting stuff in the timetable and how it was freaking me out and all that stuff. So again, I have flipped the switch, right? So now it's like, I know I've got classes, I know I've got seminars. I'm actually working on Tuesday. My on again, off again support client. Yeah, I'm doing Tuesday shift. So I'm waiting for my online storytelling job to confirm that we still have the meeting, because it's 1 till 2, which is why the other one's at 2:30. But because I don't know which. So the guy I want to be my mentor, who I think I'm going to learn the most from, doesn't attend the club that I would mostly be going to. So I'm actually attending as a guest again, because the last time it was a contest, this is a regular meeting.
Yeah.
And then on Tuesday after my support shift, I'm going to attend as a guest to the other location club where this man is a part of. And then that way I can sort of see where I'm at before I make that decision.
Yeah.
So like more ideally, I will probably go to the one that I want to, that's closer to me, but it will depend on a lot, because like I said, you of all people know that my ultimate goal is public speaking. Yeah. So like he joined Toastmasters because he was a broker, for example, and he needed to be able to hold workshops. So a lot of people are doing it for like other sorts of things to like enhance their different kind of careers, like workshops and whatever it is.
Yeah.
Whereas I just want to study public speaking for public speaking. And you know how we've talked about me being a student forever? Mm-hmm. I didn't know about all the different trainings. I remember I told you that. So
I do think that there's something to be said for going somewhere local, and if you're able to get a mentor from another practice, place, thing,
club, whatever.
Club, then you might get the best of both worlds doing that, because you're going to get different inputs.
That's
so
what I'm thinking.
Yes, go and visit the other one as a guest, and perhaps do that intermittently.
Mm-hmm.
But be mindful not to go long distances or things like that, to follow him in particular.
That makes sense.
If you can get his input anyway, and then there's less of his influence on some of the other stuff. You want a growth experience. You can grow anywhere, and if you find that the one locally to you is not what you're kind of not your jam, then look at the other one.
So each club you have to pay memberships to, right? So technically I could be a member to both, because they run alternatively. Now I'm not going to do that, because I'm going to, like I said, I'm doing absolutely everything. I'm pulling out every stop I can to make
but
this.
Don't overdo.
No. I'm trying to make it so that I'm the most calmest and chill I can be, because I've got 3 left to go. Yeah. The one thing helping me with this unit that's coming up starting on Monday is that I know I will never use research methods in my life. Yeah. So as long as I pass, that's all that matters. Because the idea of being a
I'll remind you of that when results day comes out and you're like, I only got a 78.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because I messaged the crisis lady before my unit, like my assignment result came out. I was like giving you a heads up. I said, if I don't get a grade, I'm going to lie. I'm going to lose it. I know this. I was like, just please remind me what I'm saying.
Okay, so I'll remind you come the end of this unit that anything over 50 is A-okay.
Yes, I need people to remind me because as we know, I've been working on self-validation for years. I'm not there.
Do you remember the P's equal degrees comments?
Yep, and every single time someone says it to me, I want to smack them in the head. So
it doesn't. For things like
I'm not even a violent person. That sounds horrible.
Research methods is not something, unless you want to do academic research, you just need an understanding of things like how to utilize that in your day-to-day. But if you're not going to go into practice, you're not going to use that, then you're going to, all you need to know is the scientist practitioner model. That's all you care about. Yeah. Doesn't matter.
And I'm doing it one at a time. And according to everyone,
if you don't understand the stats, which is what you're going to learn in these things, or over many years, that knowledge just degrades, or it creates trauma memories for you, and you can let it go. The discussion has this handy dandy little situation where they discuss the results.
Yeah, true. Well, this new thing at uni that they're putting into place for me is a language and learning advisor. So every week or whatever that I need stuff, I will contact this person. And like already, obviously the first assignment's out. The units are open. This is week 0. It's just that because I was so late with last trimester, week 0 and relaxing are all happening at once for me. Plus I've done the unit at least twice, possibly 3 times for the first 3 weeks and kept dropping out before census. So I've got at least, like I obviously need to refresh myself before Monday, which I will do. But yeah, so I went to try and make these appointments before I came to see you. But I was having many technical issues, as I do. So I emailed the lady who sent me the links, and I was like, please walk me through it one by one. I was like, because I'm having one of those days that my brain doesn't want to work. So I'm like, but I need to do this. Because, yeah, I've never used them before. And they're like, so you send them your assignments, you send them this, you send them everything. And she was really, like, strict on trying to clarify it's not collusion. She's like, but these people are, like, professionally trained to help you understand what you're meant to do. And since my biggest issue is that it usually takes so long for the actual penny to drop, I'm too fucking past it by that point. And that's happened so
So it'll be somebody to keep you accountable to stick by the rubric and not go off on you tangents.
I've been looking for someone to do this for so long. Turns out it's available at uni right
I
there.
had no idea.
Neither. And they've got writing mentors, completely different. They're like, you write your assignment, even if you write part of your assignment, they like just, and the other thing I was
at uni for 7 years.
I know. You're a fantastic clinical professional. I'm just working my way through one at a time, but I cannot believe
I could have used this.
How long, I think many people could, and
I think my grad students could.
So not only is there this learning person that helps you manage the week and make sure you stays on task and all that stuff, because let's face it, I get so behind, so overwhelmed, so stressed out that it hits midterm break and I just basically stop attending because and I see that. Unfortunately, I've seen that many times. I just have to make it, you know what I mean? But having all these people in place will help. And another piece of advice I've been given, which I've never thought of, which is so fucking simple, is I was trying to use the dictation on the Word document, and I got a bit confused. I've never used it before, and I was trying to do my actual assignment. So I was like, I can't figure this shit out now. I'm just going to do it the normal way. Yeah. But the lady I spoke to yesterday said, a fantastic way of doing things is she goes, and how I've never thought of this is I don't know. She's like, students use the dictation service and they just speak all of their ideas onto the page. Just doesn't have to be in any order, doesn't have to be whatever. She's like, and that's like doing your mapping or whatever. She's like, just everything you know about whatever the assignment's on, you put it there. She's like, and then you have this to work with. And I'm just getting my mind everywhere. And then I have writing advisors, and once I've done this, I get to send them and send them. And I'm just going, I would 100% be fucking not even a little concerned about graduating as an HG if I knew about all this. I think
in a little paragraph, you can dictate like a little bit at a time.
Exactly.
And then you dictate, and then you just have to add in the connecty sentences.
Yes,
and the flow.
Yeah, well, that's the
which
thing.
your writing people can do for you.
Exactly, and it's like, I'm just so excited again, and that's what I've missed. Yeah, like I need. I know you're.
University excited, but
I joined university because I wanted to learn. Like I got really lost along the way, but when it finally hit me that I have like zero intention of ever working for somebody, because I like literally physically, mentally, emotionally, whatever, like can't. I'm on disability for a reason. I would love to be able to get off disability, but that would be as me being able to support myself through my own public speaking career. That could be however long, you know what I mean? Yeah. But now that I've switched it in my head and I'm choosing to look at everything the right way, the way I actually believe in, like even after Toastmasters, I had this freak out, and it happened even after I spoke to you, because when we ended up on Monday, obviously I turned the camera off before we'd quite finished, and then Ned was calling. That went really bad. Like it was so bad. So in the however long we've got left, maybe I'll talk about something that's unrelated to uni, because uni's really good at this moment.
Go with it. Yes.
I'm being triggered by this man every time I speak to him, to the point where, look, it wasn't nearly as bad as I can be, but I was definitely not happy on the phone call I had after you and I finished up.
Which is a surprise.
I didn't understand. So for this entire time, I thought that maybe out of the fucking tragedy of losing one of my closest friends, something good might come from it, i.e. I may become friends with his dad and his dad's
connection.
Partner.
You said that you get along well with the family. Yeah.
Well, I thought that I did.
But then.
Exactly. Right. So, as we know, I have worked my fucking ass off, because it is something that society does drill into us, that if you go to the movies and you go blah 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 by yourself, you're just this sad person.
I love going to the movies by myself.
Yes, but like maybe you and I see the world differently, because most people are so ashamed that they couldn't even imagine it. But that's at one level, okay? Ned and his partner took it to another, right? And to the point where on the day I spoke to you, I was like, I'm not speaking to you anymore. I'm not doing this. We're not catching up. I can't do this. Now, I have since sent another message, which has sort of gone, look, I've handled shit badly, but explained where I'm at. But basically, it does feel like he's just completely forgotten that I'm grieving too. Yeah? So it's his son that's died. It's his, like, from what I can tell with all the content we've had, he is basically, and I've not consciously thought of this until I'm saying it to you. Hell, look at that. He's beating himself up, right? Now, I don't know fuck all of the story, obviously. Maybe because what I was told, I just don't remember. There's a good point to that. Now, Randy's mother and I hit it off like a house on fire. As I've said, we've got very similar beliefs. Not the same, but similar enough that I can have a conversation with her without people looking at me like I'm at, which I love, yeah?
Yeah.
So that's how I was even able to know, because no one would have known we were friends without that connection. Anyway, Ned had come to my house that one time for that coffee sort of thing, and he kept saying stuff to me that just was so unaligned with what I am about, and I kept trying to explain it to him. So for example, he was like, in the beating himself up part, and I feel really bad and sad, and you know, I can't help but think what my mother would be like if I just dropped dead. But he said that it was something to do with the divorce. The mother just left, yeah? He goes, I didn't know what was going on for so long. Now, I had originally met him at Randy's house. It was, as I've said, Randy, his dad, his mum, and his mum's brother, right? So I thought they were this really cool, chill, easy, co-parenting. That's how it looked. That's how it looked and how it appeared.
Yeah.
obviously we're aware appearances can be deceiving. So it turns
Behind
out...
closed doors, it's never as straightforward as that.
I know, that's why I film everything. So I can put it out there, not if I deal with other people. Like, yeah. But anyway, so when he came to my house, he didn't have long, but basically what he told me was they got divorced, she left, he wasn't really even able to have much contact for a long time, he was only just getting back used to him. He's absolutely devastated that he hasn't asked these deep, meaningful questions. In all fairness, I don't know any parents that ask their kids.
To Randy.
Yeah, these deep, meaningful questions. Randy was so deep. He was a philosophy major. Like, the reason we were, like, so close is because we spoke the same language, in the sense of philosophy is literally the love of knowledge, you know, questioning the big questions in our world, in our light universe. And it was Randy who helped get me out of the fucking rabbit hole that I'd been in for years with free will versus determinism. Yeah? So I stuck down that rabbit hole for a long time. And I imagine, since we're all taught that free will is fact, when you start going down the rabbit hole, that makes sense. Right? I definitely no longer...
Come back to the story about me.
Right. Anyway, yes, thank you. I need to be, okay, so anyway, basically, he's upset, he's gutted, he wants to do this catching up meeting, blah, 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 whatever it is. He thinks that he's been doing all this wonderful stuff for me in the sense of trying to find someone I could stay with. I don't know, because he told me on the phone that he's been so generous to me, and I was just like, I really don't know what the fuck, eh? Anyway, this shit all started because of me going to the opera. Now, I will never miss out on something that I want to do ever again because I'm doing it alone. I happen to love the opera. And the Phantom of the Opera is... before I saw that billboard, it was literally, to God, 2 fucking days beforehand that the Phantom of the Opera soundtrack was playing in my head. And so I put it on Spotify, then I drove to Graham's and it was like, Phantom of the Opera in Melbourne. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go to that.
Yeah, like $45 tickets or something too. Yeah, great.
I paid $100, but it was totally worth it. Oh, no, the ticket started at $60 plus this $10 booking fee, and it was, I wanted, like, I'm front row on the balcony, almost directly on. So I was like, I'd rather pay the little extra, just, you know, it's a thank God I made it through trimester 2 reward for myself sort of thing, you know.
The opera, great. So you went to the opera.
Well, no, I was booking the tickets, and I had asked him if him and his partner would like to go, because like I said, I thought, you know, we were building a friendship. And he was like, I don't really care, 50-50, call her, spoke to her, and she didn't answer, went back and forth in texts. And what she said made me so fucking mad. Let's face it, I've got so many issues. So I had said, look, Ned doesn't care, he's 50-50, you need to make the decision for him. I prefer to go during the day. This is the day I'm looking at. But I went through and looked at a bunch of different options, since I have no idea what she does for a living, or the hours, or any of it. Screenshot a bunch of pictures and sent them all to her. So her reply when she finally got back to me was like, oh, and it was so formal. It was like she was talking to a client. She was like, hello, Olivia. I'm not available to attend due to work commitments, blah, blah, blah. I really hope you find someone to go with, because these things are always better enjoyed with someone. So I responded saying, what? I said, I already said since the start of this little interaction that I'm going regardless. Like, I'm so excited. All I thought was I'd extend the invite. Real simple no would have been just fine. Right? That's not what happened. Yeah? Now, I responded saying exactly what I thought in the nicest possible way that I could. Yeah?
You being sarcastic or not?
I'm never sarcastic. I'm deadly serious.
Like, sarcastic a lot. No, but so you said,
I replied her a message
no
and I was like, I'm sorry, but that comment is rude and oblivious. And I was like, why would you say that to someone when I've already said I'm going alone? Like, how, what, it was insulting as far as I was concerned. So then later on, she sent me another message saying something along the lines of, I never meant any harm. I will pray for you to meet someone. So I responded with, no, do not pray for me to meet someone, I'm like, you have obviously missed the entire point of this entire exchange. I said, and quite frankly, everything you keep saying to me is only making it worse. Yeah? And then she tried to call me, and I was like, no, I've learned this fucking lesson, yeah? So I'm lying in the dark with my dog, with my salt lamp on, listening to music, and she tries to call me. Obviously, I'm just like, not happening. I sent her a message saying, I can't remember exactly how it started, but I was like, I think I just said to her, I'm lying in my couch on the dark. I said, reminding myself of why I do the things that I do. I said, and quite frankly, you are the last person I wish to speak to. And I was like, I will speak to you when I see you, because obviously I didn't want to be a fucking rude, to Ned, and he still really wants to know all this stuff. But what they're doing is pushing me away. So in the phone call that I answered after you and I finished, he started on about it again. And I was like, you're not listening to me. He was like, in my whole life, I've only been to the movies once, and it was absolutely terrible. The worst thing I've ever done. I cannot believe you can do things by yourself. Then he was like, with Randy, we'd do this and we'd do that. And he's like, and I was like, just stop. I was like, you keep pushing me. I was like, you are completely and utterly missing the point of all of it. Yeah. I said, as far as I'm concerned, the more I know about you, the more superficial I think you truthfully are. I was lucky I didn't say, no fucking wonder Randy didn't want to talk to you about deep philosophy, because that would have hurt, but I was so close, yeah? So I'm learning, because I wanted to say that. I was so angry, yeah?
So let's talk about...
And I think that's where I started downward spiraling and needing the session.
So his parents are grieving him.
I know they are.
And it's a funny thing, grief, right?
No shit, I mean
it's terrible. When you're grieving, as you know, and as you're doing, you reach out to people with shared experiences and shared knowledge of the person that you miss. You lost them, so you hold on really tight to the people around them that know them, that are like them, that could be with them.
Which makes me... Even worse, bitch.
No, it makes you doing the same thing that they're doing. They're reaching out to you, you're reaching out to them, you're trying to create a friendship with them, but you weren't their friend. You're his friend.
I know. We're not going to be friends because I just can't have friends like that.
You were friends with him.
And I now realize that.
It's too hard. It's too hard.
And it was almost like... Yeah, I've now since seen that, yeah? Like, we are so different as people, it's unbelievable.
They're grieving. It's like they don't recognize that you're grieving too. That's exactly right, because grief is singular. Everybody goes through it, and they put on their dark circles, and they put on their, what are these things called?
Blinders.
Blinders things. They put that on, and that's all they can see.
And I know. And that's
you're being generous with them by giving them information and trying to befriend them and trying to keep that connection alive. But also they are being generous with you because they're also giving it and trying to connect with you and doing those things. Now, the truth is you're just really different people. And you were really good friends with Randy.
Yeah, I know. Because he was my people.
He was your people.
And that's what I said to his dad on the phone. I said, what you're not understanding is you have your partner, you have your rock, you have your family, what you have of everything. I said, your son died. I said, he is the person who would have come with me to the opera. I said, because he was that kind of person. He would never have been to an opera before, but he would have been interested and curious enough to come.
But he would have come for himself, not for you. And you wouldn't have needed him to come.
Yeah, I don't need anybody. When I went to the Tool concert by myself, I literally started speaking to the person next to me immediately, let's face it, not something we don't think would happen. And I probably had more of a better time by myself because I didn't have to worry about other people because... Yeah, I'm just so over it these days. And I'm so excited I'm going by myself.
When is it?
I've done it. I've booked it. I've paid for it. It's the 9th of November.
That's like now.
Like next week. Next Wednesday. Yeah. I know. And I've booked it. Like I said, I'm really happy with the seat I got.
Oh my gosh. You can get tickets that soon?
There are so many tickets available. If you like the opera.
We go to the opera a lot.
Book a babysitter or whatever it is and go. There are tickets at galore all throughout November. There's nighttime ones obviously, so when you like finish work and whatnot, obviously I just wanted to go to the day one. But aside from all the bullshit it's brought up with Ned and everything, right? Because that's what happened. It was like I'd stopped talking to you. Everything was fine. I had this phone call. I immediately started spiraling. Like, I crashed so bad. And then I started overthinking because I've always said that I have your full support with what I do, because I'm not going to be giving anybody's actual details out. Like, all my shit will collide at one point, not for any number of years yet, yeah? And it may not make sense to everybody, but what I do, I know, is changing other people's lives. And you allowing that, you are changing not just my life, but everybody else's too. And I guess because I was spiraling so rapidly, because of the fact that he is grieving and he's lost his son, and I don't ever want to hurt someone generally, and yet my anger and everything took over. Now, like I said, I did not say all the really bad things that were in my head, because thankfully some part of rational kicked in, but I wasn't great either. But it was a couple of days, it wasn't sitting with me. It was so bad. Every time I looked at Randy's picture, I nearly cried, and I was feeling so guilty. So I sent Ned a message, and it was basically along the lines of, I am really sorry that I have possibly made this worse. I said I absolutely don't want to make grieving, which is hard as it is, worse for you. I am trying to figure out how to download the contents of the messenger chats between me and Randy. So if I can get them downloaded and saved to something, and I'm happy when I go through them, I have no issues giving them to his dad. I mean, let's face it.
Does he want them?
Okay, so at this point we hadn't discussed anything. So it's on the Monday, I was like, I'm done. I was like, you've pushed me too far. I can't deal anymore. Yep. I was like, if the catch up happens, and it probably won't at this point, I was like, I will contact you down the track, yeah? But it was only like yesterday, the day before, I think it was, where I couldn't leave it like that. Yeah. It was wrong. Like, what I did and said was bad. So that's when I was like, look, I'm sorry. I don't want to add to you. I'm trying to figure out this to see if that helps you get to know your son more. Like, I don't care.
I think that there's things. So Ned and his partner are going to be grieving as well, and they're, part of it is that you probably are okay.
Yeah, I just want to show my awesome T-shirt off a bit more.
Oh, it is a good T-shirt. I was going to comment.
It really is. Yeah.
They are going to be grieving, and whilst they're also probably not acting super appropriately either, like, I don't know, from their end, they probably think they are, and catching up with their son's friends is going to be hard, because establishing a new relationship with anyone is difficult, let alone establishing new relationships while you're grieving, let alone establishing new relationships while you're grieving with someone who knew your son.
Can you give me a brief rundown why that would be? Because I'm not totally following.
Remind them.
I remind them of him.
Because you use words like that. Randy.
Yeah.
And if you want to go to the opera and you're grieving for your son, and you go to the opera with Randy's friend, and you look at Randy's friend and you think about Randy, then you cry. Maybe.
Yeah, no, he's been nearly in tears every time I've spoken to him. When you can tell someone's tears are trigger.
And whilst you're a lovely human being, and while you might be a wonderful
I called him a trigger, so we're like triggering each other.
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Because you know what you like if you were going to go to the opera, you just want to I don't know, or the whatever, insert thing here. You want to leave it behind. You just want to have 2 hours to not feel shit.
Yes, I think I realised that in one of the messages I sent him. I think it might have been the one on Monday, because I said something like, I haven't even begun to start processing and grieving. I was like, I'm obviously going through stages, but it still doesn't feel 100% real, because it's just uni.
What tends to happen is marriages break down, friendships fall, families split, death pushes us apart.
I feel for
I
feel for his dad. I truly, truly do. But yeah, I had never even thought of the fact that I'm triggering him, because he is absolutely triggering me.
So a sentence like, and I don't think you meant ill will from it in any way, but a sentence like, your son would have been the one who came to the opera with me.
Fuck. Yeah, okay. That would have killed him, yeah. I didn't even think of it.
Your friends did.
Yeah,
I'd rather go alone than a second. I'm sure his parents are lovely, but they're imposters of him. And they'll always be second rate.
Oh, okay, you're so helpful because, like, his mother and I were already building a friendship aside from that. So I think that's completely different, yeah?
Because you're an individual to them.
And she hasn't been reaching out non-stop trying to get shit from me. She's just doing her thing. She's got her support. She knows that we will catch up when we catch up. Whereas I have just felt like
not because she may also not be able to manage it. But over
True.
time,
I mean, if that's the case, that's the case. I fully get
Sure.
that. It was Randy first and foremost who was my friend, obviously.
Exactly.
My friendship with Graham, who's the one that came to the funeral and the burial with me, for example, is growing, which is lovely.
Because
And
sometimes grief can bring you together.
it's what's happened.
If it's not seen as an imposter or second.
Yeah, no, so we were already friends.
Substitute
He's
thing.
the one I told you about who, when I start losing it, he knows to tell me to put Rocky Horror on. It's literally lived in my... It's
Can
been
your
living...
people here see it? Or keep calm and do the time work again.
They do like when I show my boobies off there.
I don't think that the t-shirt's really the most effective for that, but okay.
Well, I don't wear bras, you know that. I stopped wearing bras a long time ago. But,
Because of COVID?
No, because of chronic pain.
Oh, okay.
I was able to fit in a like last minute fucking massage on Tuesday with my awesome little Chinese lady who doesn't speak any English. I asked for the translation app and I was like talking to app and I was like, can the last 10 minutes please be relaxation? Like I needed a relaxation at the last. And she's like, yeah. Don't think she fully even knew what the fuck I was on about because not one part of it was relaxing. I was like in more pain when I got home the following day.
The bruising the next day.
She does this thing where she goes, and she like hits me, and I've never experienced it like. Yet I'm just like, she must be doing it for a reason.
Did it hurt? Are you okay?
It fucking hurts, man.
But you have chronic pain. Like, would it hurt like me?
Oh, it's totally different. But by the time I make sure I'm medicated before I see her.
I don't know if I'd love getting hit by my masseuse.
But like after the initial pain goes away, it helps me. But I do very much, because I asked for the translating thing again, and I was like, can you help my very uneven shoulders? Because you know that my shoulders aren't level, right? One's here and one's like, it's fucked.
No, I didn't know.
I'm going to show you, okay? Because
I'm scared. Why? Why is your shoulder weird?
Because I have a really bad freaking the wonky spine.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I
You
forget.
look the same.
Scoliosis, is it, I think? I can't. That one there. Yeah, if you can tell.
Oh, yeah.
It's not level.
That's true.
You can see it, right?
You can.
Mm-hmm. So imagine like when I'm wearing like a tight top or a dress or something. Like, even look at this, my neck. They're not level. Can you tell?
No, can't so much with your neck. But
So
your shoulder definitely sticks out.
yeah, no fucking shit. That's why I said to her, I was like, can you help with this? And she was like, no, hospital chiropractor. But I'm trying to find a chiropractor that will let me buy in bulk because my chiropractor is stingy, and even though he's brilliant at what he does, he treats us all the same, and I don't know. Some of my weird values are like we're not all actually equal in the sense of finances, for example. You know, like I think you and I have talked about slight scales and however that works, and I don't know, I guess I personally think most places should be like that, you know? But it was the fact that they just stopped contacting me immediately after me asking them to think about it. I was like, I don't really want to give you my business at all anymore now. But yeah, no, I have to figure something out.
Does it have to be a chiropractor? Or do you want to see an osteopath? There's a few really good ones.
Honestly don't know. I would be open to seeing an osteopath if you know
What does
of
your
one.
GP say?
Oh, I haven't spoken to her about it in so long since I got the plan thing.
Yeah. Psychology disclaimer: can't provide medical advice, but consider an osteopath.
True, I like that.
Mm.
I've decided to call Dot Laney because it's like, yeah, Lani, I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out.
Which
But
one's Dot? I'm confused.
oh, you know, Doc, GP Doc.
Oh,
Yeah, Laney.
that makes sense.
Yeah. But see, no, I am feeling good. I guess the main reason I was really wanting to see you is I really feel like my life is just coming together so nicely. Like I'm in a good place. I'm feeling good about classes.
It's a good thing.
I know that. What
I was expecting 2 appointments in a week. I was like, that's not
Oh yeah, I literally had to apologize to the receptionist. I'm like, I am so sorry, but I knew you'd be understanding, given that you literally work in you would be able to work in a place like this if you're not an understanding person. But like I said, it was my, I spiraled from the phone call. I basically was like, blah, 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 said what I said to him on the phone. He just stopped talking by this point. I was like, I just said exactly how I felt in the nicest possible way that I could, because I was already saying some bad shit.
With some emotional dysregulation. Okay.
Yeah. And then I was like, I really have to go. I cannot be on the phone with you, and I hung up.
Which is a great way to distance from it until you had more regulated.
Regulation, maybe?
Thanks.
But like I said, I've seen a message apologising, saying I'm really sorry for adding to it. I was like, I may get to a point where I'm okay if we have a catch up, but it will be at my house. I'm not driving. I'm not putting myself out. And like I said...
And remember, it's not probably the most healthy relationship for you or for them.
I didn't even think that, but it makes so much sense because like I said, when I spoke to you on Monday, I was feeling really good. Like really good. And yes, I took what you said and then started overthinking, but let's face it, we know I do that.
We do.
And I don't think I would have even done that if it hadn't been for the rapid spiraling, yeah?
I know.
And I guess the reason I wanted to see you is I'm using every technique I know when I spiral, but it's almost like because I'm feeling genuinely good with life and happy, when these spirals happen, they're so rapid, but they're skipping past the urges to self-harm now. They're skipping to the worst.
And they're slowing, so they're happening quickly, and they're getting to the same end point, the bad points, but they're also shorter.
Yes, I am very much
There's a
focusing on that.
Like balls bounce, yeah? So
yes, true.
Instead of this,
because
you're getting...
Because my intuition had told me to email you before that I actually did, because like I said, the public holiday down here confused the hell out of me because I had multiple appointments with the uni, and I was like, uni's open. It just didn't...
Why was uni open?
Well, they don't close for that one, apparently. But yeah, it just confused me, and I was just feeling so much guilt. And
we ran out of milk. Everything was closed at our house.
I thought I was so confused because everything appeared to be open. Yeah. I was just so lost. But my uni lady crisis lady, whoever she is, gave me the most brilliant idea that I can't believe either else have thought of.
What?
I've been looking into trying to help clients get companionship cards.
Yeah.
Turns out I'm very eligible to apply for one myself.
Oh.
I know.
Oh.
How did I not think of that?
How did we not think of that?
Like,
I don't know none of my clients have companion cards. I did an application for one maybe 10 years ago.
Oh, I didn't know you could add to it because I was going to ask Lainey to fill some out and then I'll get you to back it up.
Oh, it didn't get supported.
I mean, if it doesn't get supported, it doesn't get supported. Well, definitely
it's fine. It's a really good thing, but I don't know. There must be some magic trick for it. But
I haven't totally looked into it.
I haven't done it for 10 years. It's been literally 10 years since I've applied for one.
I've been told it's pretty hard to get, but I mean...
Why? But look at the services you've managed to find yourself with. Like, come on, man. Of all the people, you can get it.
I manifestation, I just feel like like I've been saying this so long, 6 years, it's coming around. I've hit this sort of, and how, it might have been Monday night, right? I had this very serious conversation with myself. This is the only time it's happened, but I came extremely close to thinking, and again, not me, other me, that I was going to shut everything down close everything. Nobody in the world needed to know who Liv was anymore. And then, thankfully, I remembered that I had told myself when I started this that this was so important in a bigger sense, that the only way I would shut my sights down was if I had decided to smoke ice again. And that's not ever going to happen. And remembering and realizing that, I was like, I know I'm doing this for something bigger. I understand there's fear and there's worry and people skeptical and all of that stuff, but I have faith, you know, and I'm not going to let other people worry me about, like, if I meet someone. I've realized, like, I finally have seen how I overshare. It's only taken 36 and a half years, but the pennies drop. So I actually am learning.
Did you see that while watching your video?
No, it's like everything's coming at me. No, but in all seriousness, if someone asks me a question, I will answer the question and then give like 20 other bits of information. And I realize...
What about if you happen to consider a future intimate relationship? Romantic relationship.
What about it?
Do you think that there would be anything you needed to change about your social media presence?
Nope, not a damn thing. I absolutely will not have a relationship if it involves compromising anything. Another thing Ned kept going on and on and on about compromising this, compromising that. Do you know how to compromise? I was like, you know what? I was like, it's taken me so fucking long to get to who and here and to know who I am without all the masks. I was like, not a chance am I compromising on anything that involves actually who I am. I'm able to compromise on stupid shit if, like, I'm going out for dinner and we can't decide. Totally different.
That's different.
Compromising me as a person, not going to happen. Good. I want to change. I want to grow. I want to evolve. I will be a student of life forever. We know this. You know, like, I want to be a version of me who doesn't react. Yeah. And I am getting better and I'm focusing on all of that, but it's still happening.
Yes. Because you've been doing it for 30 odd years. Yes. And it takes a long time to walk the other path, we'll say.
Yeah. And I think I just got to remember that, like, I mean, I lately, for example, I know I've been like, 3 more units, you know, blah, blah, blah. But the lady at uni, she was like, oh my God, it's so exciting. Like, you're so close. And I was like, so close.
How many units have you done?
21. So I got 3 to go. And I start, one out of the 3 starts on Monday. But like I said, I've got everything on the same day. Tuesday, it looks like I'll be getting a shift. Then I will be dealing with all these people who will help me put it in. Every alternative Thursdays is Toastmasters. I'm going to talk to the tennis man and see if we can sort of do regular... Yeah, because I spoke to him and asked him if he wanted to catch up, but he was in New South Wales, and he was like, I've got like an 8-hour drive home, but I'm going to message him once I get home and be like, do you want to catch up? Because there's like the half an hour before, like from 3:30 to 4 sort of thing, there's this like gap where before the other teams, like the juniors and stuff start, because you know how I'm just sort of playing with the president, because I'm not like, I haven't joined or anything, he's just like, but if I can say, have that, and now I'm like excited about my timetable, because it's like having it there.
She's a very busy woman.
It's seeing it, I'm happy, so life is good.
And what you're doing now is you're seeking out meaningful and appropriate experiences for yourself. You're being willing to try new things and do different stuff, which I know you've been willing to do, but for a long time, you know, if you look at the last couple of years, Liv, like, it hasn't been super easy for you to go out, meet new people without feeling judgment and stuff, particularly around, remember all that vaccination stuff, like, holy gosh.
No, yeah, I do, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, yes,
Yeah, no, I definitely can see how and where and all the ways I've made my life harder, but I'm very much trying to make it better from here on out.
But now what you're doing is you're trying to find like-minded people in things that you feel like are going to help you to develop and grow as a human being. You're looking for self-acceptance, and you're able to start giving that to yourself, which historically has always been very challenging for you.
No, you're totally right. Like now that I can see that I'm triggering him,
Mm.
it's totally helped me see the situation differently. Now, I've let him just know, look, I'm doing what I can to see if I can get this content. I will contact you when I
wonder whether that's really a great thing.
So I've already messaged him, and now I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I was just going to leave it.
If you're going to give him copies of, all of your messages that you've had with his son for always,
do you think that might be even harder?
I'm
not a parent. I don't know.
It's not so much even it's about the parent. Parents will hold on to literally everything. If you've got voice recordings, if you've got photos, they'll want it all. They'll want everything because they're going to hold on to what they can hold on to, and that's totally appropriate.
Like I said, if it was me that dropped dead, I'd love to know how my mother reacted.
Would Randy want his parents to have full access to his entire life, which didn't always include them?
I wouldn't share them unless I'd gone through them.
There's
100%.
Your relationship with Randy.
Yeah, no, you have
and
a
do
point.
you feel like you want to share that part of your relationship with Randy? Like there's parts of
I'm fine with the sharing stuff.
Yeah,
if it's going to help them.
But will it?
Well, I might actually ask them now. I'm going to say, look, I've talked about it with my psychologist because these are the things she's brought up.
Holding on to something that your son wrote, great, 100%, like 100%. But at the same time, when does it become no longer helpful? When does it become
you have a point.
Too much? And holding on,
See, these are the things I don't think of or know of.
Parents and friends and everyone who knew him, it's difficult because we actually need to find a way to let go.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I haven't been able to archive the messages yet, and I'm now at the point where I very much know I need to, because every time I see it, I get hit with this feeling. And
at some point, you have to let go.
Yeah, no, I know, and I'm
and they're seeking out little things that they weren't even a part of this. Instead, maybe
he didn't even know I existed.
Maybe they should look at remembrances and memories of their lives together.
Do you think I should let them know this? Like, I don't know how to wrap this up with them.
How did they ask you for that? Did they ask you, or did they offer for these messages? Did you offer?
I offered.
I think let them ask you for it later.
Okay, just let it go. Yeah, I can do that.
Because I think if they really want it, they'll ask you.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And I think they have probably lots of messages of their own that they're reading and reading and rereading and rereading and rereading, and you know what that's doing.
Even I sometimes go into the messages and do it. Look at the last one I got from him.
Yeah, and the last one you got from him is for you.
I know. Okay. Yes, you've very much helped me see it. And you've also helped remind me that I can do this, and that even though I have spiraled a few times while triggered, like, it's only him that's been triggering me, so now I at least understand why a bit better.
And you remember that this is your life and this is what you're doing, and you're trying to do great things with it, but you don't have to always do great things.
Yes, no, I love that.
Sometimes you can watch Netflix.
Oh, I know. I need to chop and trim all the fucking wood in my house, and it's going to be days of work. I'll be watching heaps of Netflix.
Enjoy. Binge something great. But at the same time, balance. Balance
is my new favourite word. That's the word I'm implementing everywhere. I'm doing it. I've said to my crisis lady on campus, I was like, look, we have an appointment next week. Are you on campus this particular day? Because there's quite a bit of things I'd like to print, whether it's for learning how to use this app that I know nothing about or whatever. But obviously the uni's printers are a billion times better than mine. I was like, so it'd be cool to come in, do some study in the library and actually meet you in person.
Yes.
So I'm thinking about that. Good. But yeah, everything is good. I am feeling good. I'm so happy to see you.
Always happy to see you.
Talk to you all later.